So good. All right. Let me just make sure that we're good before I do the thing. Twitch.tv.
I don't know.
So in this episode, we're talking about The Expanse and all 9 books.
Okay.
I feel like once we get to like a certain point, we should probably talk about The Expanse.
I mean, we can. We can at least talk about.
Let me change the title real quick.
I mean, we can at least cover the first 2 books. So there's that.
True. So there's that.
A lo-fi Halloween mix. It's only 27 minutes long. That's cute.
I saw that. I was like, "What? How am I gonna use this?"
It needs to be at least 10 hours to classify as a lo-fi compilation.
Yeah, exactly. My audio. I can hear you. Oh, okay, good. It was already muted.
Do you know how infuriating it is trying to find like sound effects on YouTube to rip for Roll20? Because everything's like, oh, you want ship sound effects? Here's 10 fucking hours. Like, no, dude, I need like a 3-minute loop.
Yeah. Have you tried putting loop right next to it?
No, I haven't.
There you go.
But what I have tried to do is try to like like narrow it, filter it by length.
Yeah.
So
All right. We're set. We're live. Let's make this happen. Actually, there's one more thing. Oh, I fucked up. Like, good thing I tested. This is why we test.
oh, Jesus Christ, Ezra.
This is why we test. Okay, just give me a second, Andrew.
Did something fuck up, or is there a ghost in the machine?
Spooky.
Ah.
All right, now we got music. Okay, cool.
There
Here you go. Ready?
there is a ghost in the machine, but it's the Scarlett Johansson version. Ah!
Oh God! Actually, you know what?
That is kind of scary.
Yeah, but that compared to other trash that goes out, like that wasn't that.
I know,
Anyway.
but you could do Cyberpunk so much better.
I know. I agree.
Just watch Blade Runner 2049 or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. Was that a Netflix or was that like an actual studio? I can't remember.
I think it was an actual studio.
Oh God. Okay. Well, let's get this started. Ready?
Yes.
And welcome to another episode of A Talk of Opportunity. We're back with another Sunday. More things to talk about because we talk about all things tabletop, RPG, board games, video games, and trash that we come across, like the books and stuff like Dunes. And with me, as usual, my co-host, Andrew.
Back from beyond the veil.
Yeah, we are in the October month, and that means that we have to be extra spooky, which is why Andrew now introduces himself as a ghost.
We're actually recording this via Ouija board.
Yeah, it takes a long time to do the questions, but it seems to be working just fine.
What's a Discord?
Yes. Today we're talking about something that it's been on Andrew's mind ever since he first started reading.
Ever.
Or just making memories, just ever. We're talking about the spooky undead and everything that categorizes within that.
No.
Andrew, you've been dead inside for a while. I know you've been dying to talk about this.
I just like them because I can relate to them. Like, I too am dead on the inside.
But with that, let's play the music.
Oh, we need to get like some Halloween. So after that brutal assault by the Orc warrior, the initiative now goes to you. Jose, what do you do?
I'm gonna cast
2 cups of coffee in a can. And it's like, that's because it's just, I just got like raw fucking caffeine. That's why.
Yeesh.
I was like, oh, like I love caffeine.
And
Sorry.
we're back.
I love caffeine. I can't stand the taste of it.
I didn't even know caffeine had taste.
It is awful. There used to be there used to be like this caffeinated like chewing gum that was on the market for like I think like only 2 years. So they found out that it gave people like hypercancer and
caffeinated cancer.
And I tried some of it, and there was kind of like a minty candy coating that they have like on like chiclets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But underneath it was just pure caffeine. I'm like, oh, it just like scrapes it off my tongue and stuff. I remember that when I was working at a grocery store, and there was like a lot of stuff that we were sending back, and there was a lot of that we were sending back. Like no one's buying it. It's so weird. Like yeah, maybe because it tastes like straight ass.
Like shit. Oh, gross. Well, hopefully what you're drinking today is better.
It's not.
Because before we get going, Andrew, what are you drinking today?
I made the mistake of having Slate coffee, which is ultra filtered milk and coffee. It says it's lactose free energy, which I'm slightly lactose intolerant, so sure. And it says it's 2 cups of coffee, and it's just like caffeine and milk. Like that's all I'm tasting. It's like it's like someone just put caffeine into a chocolate milk. Like oh yeah, we're good. Call it a day. And I'm like,
what the hell?
I'm like, okay, maybe this ain't working for me. So, and like, I even like mix the can up. It's like, oh, gently mix the can, which means shake it like a motherfucker. And
yeah.
like it owes you money, and then pour it out into a cup. I'm literally just tasting caffeine with like a little bit of chocolate. This is really bad.
I'm sorry. Make sure to take a picture of it so we can tell our listeners not to listen to it on our website.
I'll take a picture of it in the trash can.
Oh, today, Andrew, I am doing a double feature.
Science fiction.
Ooh. Oh crap! I forgot to play the music. Let's get that spooky vibes going.
Boo!
Ooh. Anyways, I'm doing a double feature because I realized that I drank my stuff really fast, specifically what I'm about to drink.
Right.
Because today I'm drinking a premium boss black coffee. I think it's black coffee. Finest taste of luxury. That's what it says.
I'm so jealous, man. Like you're gonna have like the exact opposite experience of what I'm having.
Ooh. Oh, that's good. It has that the acidity on it. Yeah, you can really taste it, but
it's like but it's like it's not like bitter, right?
No, it's not. It's not like it doesn't make me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like can't.
Like so silky. That's weird.
Like black coffee. Like yeah, normally I would get like a whiskey face because you know what, I'm a person. but like I had Boss Coffee Black. I'm like, oh, this is wow.
yeah. So well, I like black coffee. Usually the most I do is like a half a teaspoon of sugar in it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I drink my coffee black. This is really good. I never had the premium. I bought a bunch of the other flavors, and for the most part, it's really good. However, this can is, check it. It's a soft can.
Ooh, you can crush it.
Which you can crush it, yeah, which is
or
weird.
Maybe the coffee is just so good you've gained superhuman strength temporarily.
That's definitely it.
I mean, because you know,
I'm gonna go stop crime. I'll be right back. Come back with like one shot. Andrew, it didn't work.
No, I didn't say I said you could stop bullets. I didn't say how many times you can stop bullets. The answer to that is once. That's how many times you can stop a bullet.
That's really good. And my second drink for today is
another bottle of premium
another. No, it's actually tea. So I'm gonna go from coffee to tea like halfway through. It's a peach oolong iced tea. Oolong tea with the summer flavor of perfectly ripened fruit. Be a peach and try this tea. Steep hot or refrigerate overnight in cold water.
Ooh.
And the ingredients are oolong tea, though. Natural peach flavor, apple pieces, marigold flowers, and peach pieces. You know what's the cool thing about this? It is cold brewed. So like you just stick a pack of it comes like pre-measured. Come on. It comes pre-measured in this little net.
Okay.
And you just stick it into the pitcher of water and leave it overnight. It makes perfectly cold brewed tea. And I'm like, oh, sweet.
Oh, that's.
And I will be drinking that in my. My tumbler. Is that a tumbler?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ah,
A Tuck of Opportunity tumbler. Oh no, I'm holding it wrong. The executives are gonna get.
yeah, the travel mug or something. Yeah, we always have to like, ooh, the slate coffee.
Yeah. Oh wow, I am really excited to drink this coffee. I think the most awkward position.
Yeah, it's like dribbling down the corner of your mouth.
Oh shit. All right, Andrew. So that's enough about our drinks of choice for today. Let's dive deep into the vibes of spooky October with our first topic.
Arise, ye undead.
Andrew, we're talking about your favorite thing of all times, depression.
Okay. I mean, it's just like some days, man, I just like wake up. We really have to go through this.
Oh no, but seriously,
I wake up and my day's already ruined.
I'm an expert at ruining my own day. I don't need anybody to do it for me. But yeah. So, the Undead, Andrew. I know it's been on the list for a very long time, and I was like looking to like, okay, well, what creatures are undead? And the list is forever going.
It's huge.
So, so I'm like, holy crap, like I get it, right? Like the undead is like the easiest monsters I gotta think of. It'll be like, oh, we just killed a dwarf. Oh, undead dwarf.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, what to me, what makes the undead so fascinating is that there's like an undead for pretty much any flavor of a campaign you want to go for.
Yeah.
You know, like if you really wanted, if you want to have like a fun actiony, you know, like Michael Bay style campaign with lots of explosions, there's undead monsters that are like quick and provide like high octane adventure and stuff like that. But if you want like a more narrative driven story with role playing, yeah, I see you shilling the boss coffee. But if you want like a more like narrative driven role playing kind of a thing, there are undead that offer a more like mysterious circumstance around what happened to them or how to solve the problem. And the undead can range from like the lowly mook, like skeleton, like CR 1/4 monsters, all the way to like CR 20 something plus.
Yeah.
You know, so and everywhere in between. So if you really want to, there is more than enough fertile ground to have just a undead soul-based like campaign where I don't know,
easy,
like a necromancer's taking over a kingdom and boom, everything's just undead now. Like you got undead trees and undead buildings and shit, undead mimics. So I mean, it's just really fascinating. Like the flavors of undead, because you have like the more wacky ones, you have the more serious ones, you got the ones in between. You know, you got some that are obviously kind of going to be more goofy, some that are legitimately kind of scary if played in the right hands. So you know, I just wanted to get into that.
Yeah, as I was reading, I was like, some of the ones that had like, oh, how did they turn undead or whatever the monster is, like, were really interesting. Like everything from like a search of knowledge to a secret to just being brought back. Like that was like everything in between. Like I didn't know that was possible.
I mean, yeah, and that's another thing too. It's just like depending on how if like a player character dies and the player's like, you know what, let my character stay dead, you can bring that character back just due to circumstances. Because okay, like undead can come back 9 times out of 10 is going to be through magic, either willingly or against their will. More than likely against their will, but but sometimes like they'll come back because like ghosts, they have unfinished business and stuff. But then you have some like the Revenant where they are so hell bent on revenge that they come back just from sheer anger.
yeah. Well, that and like other things like just breaking oaths and stuff like that. Like, depends on what you did in your life. If you didn't fulfill a thing, or if you just were really angry, like you just said, you just happen to come back or have a chance to come back in a specific way, which I find very fascinating.
Yeah, and
I think that's going to be reflected a lot in the classes that we were going to talk about.
Yeah,
or the classes. I'm sorry, the monsters we're going to talk about.
And I just think, yeah, you know, obviously like curses can bring you back and stuff like that, but but then there are also, what's it like, you can just come back if you have like a heavy karmic debt or you just died with a lot of hate in your heart. Like, no, you're just gonna come back. Like, they're just gonna deny you.
You're not done here, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, hold on, buddy, you don't get to just die. Like, so yeah. I mean,
I also enjoy that some monsters are like what you expect, like the skeleton or the zombie or the ghoul, like, oh, it's just rotten flesh and stuff like that. And some are just like you would not expect it to be undead, and then you're like, oh, like, okay, but by expected I mean like when you look at it in the artwork, you're like, or you present it to your characters, they will have no clue that they're undead until they do something that an undead would do, and you're like, oh, okay, well, in that case, turn it.
Well, I mean, it's just like, and then there's some undead that's like, wait, you become that because you did this one thing in your life? Like, I don't know. Do we want to get into like the granular monsters or something? Because like the one I'm thinking of is like the Bodak, where it's like, this guy worshipped Orcus once, and he became...
No, to be fair, they had to do a little bit more than that.
I know, but then they...
he got invited to his friend's church. Next thing he knows, he's a Bodak.
It's just like, man, I really do need to pass this exam. All right, fine, Orcus.
No. He got invited to a potluck at an Orcus church, and that was it. That's all it took.
Sorry, man, you ate the chicken and dumplings. You're part of the congregation now. No.
Oh no. I mean, they were good, but no.
And then 70 years later, he comes back as this horrifying, long-mouthed, shawl-covered monstrosity, all because you had to have the fucking chicken pot pie. Was it worth it?
Yeah.
It came from a mix.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It sometimes it takes very little to become an undead.
I mean, you know, and like what's it, like ghosts? Like, what's your unfinished business? It's just like that What We Do in the Shadows episode. Or like maybe you just need to reunite one with their horse or something. I mean, all right. Well, before we keep going into like just touch the base of monsters, you're right. Becoming an undead in this universe is very easy, or very complex, depending on which approach you want to take. I mean, it really. I think it's really based on the DM's like, am I gonna defile the sanctity of this person's grave? Of course I am.
Of course I am. Yeah, definitely.
Oh shit.
I think the only rule we had is that we wouldn't talk about undead monsters that we already touched upon plenty, like liches and like zombie or skeletons. And we even talked about zombies, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah, we did. We did talk about zombies when we were going over the Van Richten's thing.
Yeah.
So. Oh
yeah.
man.
So if one of the big ones is not mentioned, it's because we probably already talked about it in another episode.
And I also self-imposed a rule that I will not go on about liches and vampires for an hour and a half, because
vampires, again, which is a lot of them actually, and in different forms. And one of them I kind of want to talk about.
There's some where okay, it's actually kind of funny because before this episode, you were like, I'm gonna weed out all the lame undead, which there are a lot of, and it's just like anything skeleton blank, boring. Vampire blank, Terrifying.
Terrifying, yeah. Also, I didn't know that Nosferatu is in a freaking was it Van Richten's guide to
Yeah,
Lebanon.
and the
I was like, oh.
the Nosferatu is actually fascinating. I want to talk about that was one of my picks. Was the Nosferatu?
Okay, all right.
So
All right, let's get to it, Andrew. Since this is all about your spookiness, you get to go first. So, what was your first monster?
okay, so my first notable monster. I know we said we weren't going to talk about liches, but I do want to talk about demi-liches. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason why that is because for those of you unaware, a demi-lich is a lich that has either failed or has forgotten to refill their phylactery with human souls or just souls of the living. And because of that, their material form, like their body and stuff, has like withered away, and it's literally just a floating skull with like gems or some crap in it. And so because of that, they're still incredibly tough. Like this is okay, it went from like a CR22 to like a CR18 fight or something like that. Like they could still pack a wallop, and all they just need one kill. If they manage to get one kill, that's it. They're back to lichdom, and then they're now you have all of this plus a spell list, and you're gonna be totally screwed. So I mean, so a demi-lich, like, it still has legendary actions, and it still has lair actions and stuff. It's just not quite as powerful as a lich is. That being said, in the right hands, well, not even in the right hands. I mean, just if you were to go through the stats on it, just its normal 2 attacks, not even legendary attacks, are deadly. And I just really like the fact that this is a guy who has attained lichdom. Like, he is smart enough and strong enough and spiritually spiritually strong enough to have coaxed his own soul into lichdom, but he just forgot or hasn't been able to keep his phylactery full. He's like, oh no, and he just withers away. So I knew I shouldn't have put it up for so long. So damn it, I know I forgot something as like his body crumbles. But I mean, to me, what that makes a demi-lich more dangerous in my eyes than a regular lich, because a regular lich, he's already obtained what he or they wanted, right? You know, like they obtained lichdom. Okay, cool, now I can just study for the rest of my life or do whatever it is that they wanted to do. But a demi-lich is like, okay, wait, hold on, all right, I gotta get a good kill in. so if you see a lich, I'm not saying you see a lich, it's going to be immediate like a fight to the death. You might be able to talk your way out of it because you might be too small in the quandary of a lich's life. But a demi-lich, they see you, they're immediately out for blood, like a shark. You know, like because they had to taste that former glory, and they know all they need is one more soul, and then they're gonna be good. So you see a demi-lich, oh shit, it's time for a rumble. yeah, he's in it for a fight. Yeah. It's funny that your first pick was a demi-lich, because mine is relatable to a lich. Which is? A bone claw. That was another one of my picks too. Okay, good. Because they're essentially a failed lich, but they weren't even managed to be a lich. They just tried to be a lich and then just completely got fucked over. Yeah, they just couldn't see it through. You know, the other guys just forgot to refill his phylactery, but like these guys were like trying really hard and then failed. And I like to imagine they failed by like 1 point. Mm-hmm. So they're so fucking angry that they're gonna kill anything that they see. I mean, becoming a lich. Unfortunately, there ain't no like hardcore rules for it in 5e, but it's described becoming a lich is incredibly difficult, and there's a reason why they're like not every wizard is a lich. But what I like about the bone claw is that, one, it takes a pretty significant hit on its intelligence. Like you could tell it stops becoming. I mean, it's not like mute or anything like that, but it's definitely not like the 25 intelligence, right? Something like that. Right. But so it's going to take a pretty significant hit on like its intellect, and it becomes shackled to just not even like a spellcaster, just the closest hate-filled creature within like I think like a mile of where it died or something.
I think so, yeah.
Or it's like
this guy's just filled with rage. I will like it's almost like I would imagine it being like a berserk of the liches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the muscle that is gonna try to protect the liches. Like, can you imagine like if you're going after a lich and then you see a couple of these guys just kind of like these guys will fuck you up. They have quite a lot of hit points, and my favorite part of them is that they do something called shadow jump, which is pretty freaking epic because within 60 feet they can teleport. But not only themselves, if they're holding onto a creature, they can also teleport that creature which is perfect for like separating or splitting the group. You know what I mean? Because 60 feet is 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you grab one of those guys and then teleport and then beat the shit out of him by himself, like, you know what I mean? Like you're SOL if you get grabbed by one of these two.
Oh yeah, no. When you're fighting a bone claw, you want that bad boy as bright as like a football arena. Like
yeah.
But another thing that we forgot to point out, but like fighting undead usually comes with some sort of like conditions or something, because most undeads have resistances. Some of them even have straight up immunities to stuff. And 9 times out of 10, when you're fighting an undead, they have like some sort of like regeneration or rejuvenation or something. So just because you put down an undead doesn't mean it's gonna stay down. Sometimes they just keep coming back, and that's it. And
also this guy, I mean, like this guy's all about shadows. He can take like hide actions. He can hide in the shadows. But one of the coolest things is that he has essentially an attack of opportunity, but instead of 5 feet, it's within 15 feet.
Jesus Christ!
So within 15 feet of yourself of the monster, they can reach out and get you. If they hit once, then they can attack again.
So what I think would be really neat is if you have an adventure where there is 3 wizards, like a trio of wizards, that are all trying to attain lichdom, and only one of them knows that he's going to become the lich, and the other 2 aren't, they just don't have the stones for it. And so he's like, no, man, we're going to become liches and stuff like that. But really in the back of his mind, he's like, oh man, I'm going to get some fucking sweet bone claw minions once I pull this off. But then he forgets to fill his phylactery and becomes a fucking demi-lich.
I mean, yeah, I think narratively, it would be pretty cool to kind of like uncover that as you're exploring whatever castle or, layer you're in. Because, maybe there's a chance to like cure the bone claw.
But
you don't have to kill it.
But what I think is really neat, and it kind of touches on it in the bone claw's description, is that, again, it doesn't have to be a powerful person. It's just the most hate-filled person.
Evil.
Yeah, like within a mile. So it could be like some lowly beggar, and all of a sudden this thing comes up and just pretty much explains, "Hey, I'm shackled to you. All right, whatever you need me to do.
How can I be of service?
Yeah, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. That guy that cut you in line at the soup kitchen, I can take care of him for you."
Yeah, I don't even have to be that close. I can just be 15 feet away.
So I mean that would be like a great, like, pull the rug out. Like, hey, this monster has been attacking, this town or whatever, and we put it down like 8 times and it keeps coming back. Like it obviously has some kind of master, and we have to find it. Oh well, naturally your first thought would be like, oh, it's a powerful necromancer. Like, no, dude, it's just some kid that got bullied in a schoolyard. Now he's all pissed and he's taking it out on the bullies.
That would be really that would really be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then you gotta teach the kid along the way, when you go on a quest for revenge, make sure to dig 2 graves, blah blah.
The graves, yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
How it's a little card he reads out.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. Let me.
Are we done with liches now?
No, we're not done with liches, because my next
number 1 rule you said for this episode was not talking about liches, and we both picked lich related monsters.
Lich adjacent, but we didn't go straight into liches. There's a difference.
Yes. So. Anyway, so here's Vecna. and then your next monster is Acererak. Andrew.
What?
Andrew. You didn't pick Acererak, did you?
No.
Frantically look for another monster. The whole list is just a bunch of different liches.
Get new material. Ah, shit.
Shit.
Oh man. No. Okay. So my next pick would have to be the vampires. No, I'm kidding. It would
vampire adjacent.
Yeah, the vampire spawn. You didn't let me finish. Nah, I'm kidding. Vampire spawn are actually. I would actually put vampire spawn in the like tough but boring category.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
There's plenty of those actually.
yeah, where it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting in a fight, but nah, really not much. Like you'll have to put some work in if you want to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. My next pick would have to be straight from the monster manual. Would have to be the Revenant. And that's because it's one of those monsters that comes pre-packaged with a story, but it's also really really tough in a fight. And a Revenant is just someone who felt like they were wronged in their previous life, or they're like seeking revenge, and that thirst for revenge solely is the thing that's keeping them propped up. And there is a time limit for how long they have to enact their revenge, but because they are undead by nature, they don't need air, food, sleep, water, that kind of a thing. And so because of that, you can just imagine this lich is essentially like the monster from It Follows. Like, yeah, you might be able to outrun it, but for how long? Like, eventually you will have to stop and eat and sleep and whatnot. And meanwhile, while you're sleeping, that's 8 hours that this thing is following you this entire time. You know.
Yeah, I think we encountered them in Curse of Strahd, didn't we?
You did encounter them in Curse of Strahd. However, they were more like mooks to a bigger, to a more terrible evil, instead of being like the main focal point of the.
Yeah, they were actually helpful. They just
Yeah, I mean, after.
What a nice guy! You want to join our party?
You know, once I actually get to talk to them, they're actually not that bad. Actually, what's funny is that one of those knights in that mansion could have been an ally. I didn't draw that card.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but yeah, he could have been an ally to you, and because he was a paladin in his previous life, he had paladin abilities. So. Oh well.
Oh, now I know for next time.
Yeah, but what I think
I'm gonna befriend every creature in Ravenloft.
No, I can't join you because reasons.
Because you're annoying. That's why.
I can't join you because I look, man. I really got to go take a shit. Anyways, what makes the Revenant like actually one of those monsters that can teeter towards being scary if you play it right is the Vengeful Tracker feat, which is it knows the distance and directions of the creature it's seeking revenge. So it knows it knows exactly how far, as long as it's on like the same plane of existence, it knows exactly where you're at, and it will follow you until either it or the earth underneath it crumbles into dust.
Is it like that snail that will like get you?
Yeah, it will. That's what I'm saying. It's like the monster from It Follows. Like, it will eventually find you. It's just a matter of time.
Fair.
So I mean, like, yeah, you can probably play it in a more goofy way, but I mean, if told like in a like a spooky, scary, low level like setting, like have the adventures be like level 2 or 3 or something like that, like a Revenant could be actually kind of terrifying. And but then there's also the implication, like, wait, why is this Revenant like targeting one of us? Like, what did you do?
What do you guys do?
Yes.
Finger guns.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just have like a normal adventuring party, but there's a Revenant after you. Well, why?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's up to you guys. What did you do to this Revenant?
Shit.
And then there you go. Boom. You have it. Just throw Revenant in the mix, and it's like an instant story. Just add water to it.
Yeah. So my next monster is the Alip. Or Alip? Alip?
Alip?
a lip.
That's a good choice too.
Yeah, mainly because I'm like I've seen it before. Like I've through books and just flipping through. I'm like, oh, it's just it's a smoky, pooky monster.
You encountered one before.
We did.
Yeah, in the ship.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. That was
I didn't click until now, but yeah, no, I like these because like I started reading them and again, it's one of those like it can not only it doesn't only just have a pre-built kind of like story skeleton for you to build upon, but it can develop even further into another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so these creatures are created by, correct me if I'm wrong, by a very dark secret that has been uncovered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So, which is interesting in and of its own because it's not the classic like, oh, the vampire sold his soul to the devil and now whatever, or the paladin died and now he's at Death Knight. Like, it's a fucking secret that got uncovered, and it's this vicious monster, and all he wants to do is just share his secret with somebody else.
What?
But the thing is that the secret has to, so for this monster to be created, the secret had to be so horrendous, I guess you could say, or evil and dark, that even sharing a small glimpse into that secret can drive that person insane.
Well, that tells me this is what happens to your protagonist in an H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have covered some great, terrible cosmic truth. They go insane, die, and then they come back as
yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like some of the stats are they're fine. I don't think these are meant for like, oh, major boss fight or whatever. I think this is, if anything, they're not necessarily even meant to be fought. They're terrifying, they're scary, but I think they just want to like, hey man, I just need to get this off of my chest. That's all they want.
All right, look.
They just want therapy, okay?
Look, man, I know where Jimmy Hoffa's at. No,
but
psychic damage.
but honestly, what I like about it is the fact that like there's so much room there to like, oh, you get to talk to the thing, and like now your character has like an insight knowledge to this crazy secret, and it's slowly driving them insane.
But
did you roll an insanity team?
Or that like you could do like a long-term or short-term insanity thing, but then now that you know the secret, do you come back as an ellip? Like how do you alleviate that curse from you now? Like, oh, thanks, buddy. Now you
shouldn't have told me that.
Thank you for giving me this fucking undead herpes that I'm
but honestly, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Also, he has like all the conditions immunities.
Yeah,
like, you can't harm this thing by normal means.
It's a tough monster. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, like it doesn't. It's not bad in a fight, but it has much more like lore implications and stuff. And it's because I'll be honest with you, I did a complete and total disservice to it. I just wanted to have one, and I just looked for an excuse because I liked them so much. But yeah, no, like in a setting where you can like really dig into it, an ellip is a fascinating, if not terrifying, monster.
100%. Because I think if I'm correct, good thing I wrote the page down. They are actually neutral, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, typically neutral evil. Yeah. So like I said, like they're evil just because they're a manifestation of a really dark secret, but they're not evil because they want to eat your brains or, enslave a whole village. You know what I mean? Like they're just, dude, I'm evil, but not by choice.
Yeah, like look, man, if I talk, it's gonna hurt somebody. I can't help that. I can't help that I'm the black bolt of this universe. No, but you're right. And a lip because then that opens up the possibilities. Like, oh God, what did they know that was so horrifying that it corrupted their immortal soul? Yeah,
exactly. And do you want to know? Because all the only way to get rid of it, or not the only way, but but like the main way to get rid of it is just listen to it. Like honestly, but like, do you want to know? Like, do you like? It's a secret, but like, it's like one of the things like, there's a secret. You want to know the secret, but do you really want to know the secret?
Yeah, it's like no, you don't want to know, but I need to know.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a great addition to anybody that wants to run like a more Lovecraftian style adventure.
100%.
Like this is what's going to happen. Like you might know the secrets of the great cosmos, but this is you. This is gonna be you. So sure, enjoy it.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I found it extremely interesting. I mean, kind of knew about him, but never really kind of like read him. But I can't believe we haven't used it more often.
I mean,
it's just been in the books, and it's like, oh shit, this is great.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like you plunk in there, and it immediately adds like a layer of world building to your adventure.
Yeah,
because there's like, oh, there's things we are not meant to know now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right,
so, what's next, Andrew?
So moving on. Going on, it's weird. We're having like some sort of like synchronicity thing. We did not share notes, by the way.
No.
Or did we even take notes? I know I didn't.
Yeah, we definitely take notes for every episode.
You are really like overconfident in my abilities. Anyway, but going in line with not so great in a battlefield but having much more lore implications is the Skulk. From the same books as the Ellip, a skulk is the what remains of the soul of somebody that got lost in the Shadowfell. So if you were like going from one place to another in Barovia, you got lost and you died because of like natural causes or the wolves tore you apart, you would become a skulk.
Oh, the art school.
Yep, and I like the little quote there that says, "Some children have imaginary friends that their parents can't see. Sometimes those invisible friends aren't imaginary." And what really fascinates me...
No, thank you. anything that's related with kids having like imaginary friends or talking to the shadows, like what? Nope, I'm out.
Well, I mean, what fascinates me about it is that, okay, a skulk is 1,000%, or sorry, is 100% invisible. You cannot see it. You cannot track a skulk. It is supernaturally predisposed to where you just can't find a skulk. The only way you can look at a skulk, and I'm revealing some of the secrets only because some of them are so cool. The only way you can see a skulk is if you look at a mirrored reflection to find the skulk. Like, it's going to be behind you, which immediately opens up the possibilities for that like jump scare where like you close a medicine cabinet, there's something,
yeah. Bro, that's terrifying.
What's it, there was one that did it really well. I think it was The Omen. Anyways, okay, so you either look for it in a mirrored surface. A child of 10 or under can naturally see a skulk. As soon as they hit 11, they can't see skulks anymore. Or, and the most metal choice in my opinion, you light the area with a candle made from the wax of a corpse. and if you illuminate an area with a candle of corpse wax, you can see a skulk. And it's just like, why? Who came up with these rules? I mean, it's literally a lost.
Actually, hold on. I think it tells you in the wiki. Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford.
I mean, no, I get it, but like, okay, you know what I mean. But like in universe, like it's just. I mean, in universe, it's just it's perfectly in line with the Shadowfell. Like, yeah, okay, the only way you can see this monster is by either like creepy but innocent or incredibly fucked up means. Like, okay, yeah, sure, let's this guy died recently, let's just make a candle out of his fat, sure, and or by means that will like catch a character by surprise and there's something behind me. So, but also on top of that, they're not predisposed to be evil. They can be They can be good if you want them to be, and like I said, because they are just people that just had the misfortune of dying in the Shadowfell, you know, like it.
Which I mean, that's really easy to do.
I mean, you got lost in the Shadowfell and died. I imagine you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a skull.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's like, you know, the conditions to become one. So I just think it would be like a much more interesting, like, kind of ghost mystery. Like, okay, like this little girl has an imaginary friend, but, you know, people around her that get bullied all of a sudden have like terrible scratch marks on them, and like, you know,
that is prime classic, like, ghost stories. Like, I think that's great.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, this girl has some sort of magic abilities. No, dude. This girl's being followed. This girl is haunted.
But like, that's the thing. Like, who knows that, right? Like, the town might think that she's a witch or some sort of like, she's the responsible. Then you have to like, and that's the way the adventurers think too. And then you slowly somehow start figuring it out, or you don't, and you kill the little girl, and then it turns out that it happens again, because now that thing's attached to another 6-year-old.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, it's pretty fragile. It's not a terribly strong monster. It has only one attack, but it's just more of like the implications and the conditions surrounding it that make it a more fascinating creature.
Also, it just I think it will be like, this will be perfect for like a short adventure where it's like there's like high stakes. How do I say? There's not like, oh, the orcs are coming to kill the people. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean? People are killing each other, but they don't know why. Like it's like the witch Salem thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
a sort of like paranoia.
Yeah. No, the what's it called when the group of people go crazy? Hysteria?
Oh, mob mentality?
No, there's another word, whatever. But that, like, maybe, you know, like, that's the adventurers have to find out what's causing that to this town.
Yeah. And
it's as simple as the skulk is around making this stuff happen, but how the hell are you even supposed to know that a skulk is around? And because the kid tells you that it's an imaginary friend, it's an imaginary friend. The kid might not even know that the skulk is doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, and it could be something where it's just like you're talking to this kid, and he's like, "Oh, Mortimer doesn't like you," like. Where? Right. Oh, where's Mortimer? He's like, right behind you, and you're like, you know. but then you can have like things like, oh, okay, the adventurers they're relaxing for the night. Like, okay, we didn't get anywhere with this investigation, and one's like in the bathroom, like they're like washing their face, and they do that, and they look in the mirror, and oh my god, there's something behind them, and they look and they can't find anybody, you know. Yeah. And naturally, because you can't track them, there's nothing there. There's no footsteps or something.
And also because, like, according to the art, it's not like even when you see it in a reflection, it's not like a full on like solid body.
Yeah.
It's legit quite like a ghost, so you might think it might be like a squiggly line in your eyes, or some sort of like, oh, I just saw something weird.
Yeah, you know, and it could be like, am I going crazy or something? And then when you actually find out, okay, I know how we can look at this thing. Like, would the lawful good cleric be okay with what's the word I'm looking for? Like digging,
desecrating?
No, like what's there's a term for when you're like digging up a grave.
Exhuming.
Yeah, exhuming. Thank you. Like
exhuming. Okay, so I did that.
Yeah, like would they be okay with like exhuming this freshly buried person? Like, look, we need to get his fat or their fat. Yeah. And it's just like, would the lawful good cleric be like, all right, we can do this. I need to do a lot of praying afterwards.
No, I mean, like, you know, guys, I'm gonna be in the bar. You guys do what you need to do. I won't ask any questions. I don't have to know what you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, it could be something like if it's like a life domain cleric, like, hey, this is not okay. Like, you can't do this. Yeah. You know. So I mean, it would just be something for a much more like low stakes kind of, like, this is not a world ending monster, but it could have like long reaching effects to your characters or something like that, you know. So a very
I think that's really interesting. Now imagine that same town at night, right? You're going to exhume this body, and from the corner of your eye you see a hunched dark creature staring at you. right? And you look around thinking that it's a skulk, but instead, it turns to you sideways, and you see a elongated mouth open with darkness, and two beamy dark eyes look straight into your soul. You have to do a Constitution saving throw, and you fail for more than 5 points. You're dead. The rest of your party freaks out.
Are we talking about
I'm talking about my next monster, the Bodak.
The Bodak! Hey! You worship orcas one fucking time! One fucking time!
So, my instinct, I gravitated to this monster because it looks so fucking creepy. But not in a way that it's like, oh, a third arm or some rib cage open. No. Like, there's stuff you can see in real life where it's like, just weird enough to like freak you out, right?
It's just take the human face, stretch it out, and put a shawl over it, and boom, you got a Bodak. And
you got a Bodak. Yeah, so like we were joking earlier, like you worship orcas for one time, and boom, you're bound to be a Bodak at some point in your life, in your afterlife.
You didn't throw away that pamphlet that guy handed to you. That means you were thinking about it. No, but seriously,
that's it.
No, seriously, okay, so we're joking about it, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't pick a Bodak as my monster. I wanted to, but I'm like, honorable mention. But I think a Bodak is a like fervent follower of Orcus.
Yeah.
That is denied like going into the afterlife or something like that.
No, sort of. So like it's yeah, you have to be very devout. You have to actually carve the sigil of Orcus into your chest.
Okay.
In order to be like that much of devotion. And yes, you're denied to go to the afterlife, and then you come back, right? And the whole purpose of this thing is to kill whatever was attached to it in its life. Meaning friends, enemies, that guy who invited it to the potluck, like everybody who has ever had to do anything with that Bodak.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it wants to do. Anything that was attached to it, like physically, that's all it wants to do, is just kill it. And it can turn players and other people into more Bodaks.
What?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is very terrifying. There is Death Gaze, which, by the way, I think that, because I don't know, maybe I'm just feeling a little mean today, but I feel like the Constitution saving throw is a little too low. I will pump up that like by 1 or 2 points maybe. Which, if you fail it regularly, right, you take some damage, but if you fail it by 5 points or more, dead.
Oh, like no death saving throws, just
nope, dead.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. Oh no, I'm sorry. It is reduced to 0 hit points.
Oh,
my bad.
Come on.
Yeah. The devil's in the details. I'm gonna ignore that.
I didn't see that.
See that. And then there is which is the one I'm looking for? That's weird, because like in the description it says that it can turn other creatures into Bodaks, but it doesn't specify how.
I think it might be something where like if it kills them with its death glare, right? Because usually that's the thing that does it. Like if you reduce a creature's hit point to 0 using this feature, they come back as a blah blah blah. What book is it in? Is it in Volos?
No, I think it's in Volos, but I have it on Monsters of the Multiverse.
Okay. I'm saying I got Volos here. I could just rip that bad boy right open.
Yeah. But anyways, so I mean, I like it because it's super terrifying. It's very creepy looking. It's not necessarily like the hardest thing to kill, but like I said, if you pump up that DC a bit, then it becomes a formidable monster, because it is a Constitution saving throw. I think most players have, for the most part, advantage. Or not advantage. What's the word I'm looking for? Proficiency on it. Right. That's why I say like pump it up just like a little bit, right? Because even if you don't fail it by that much, if they fail it, that's their main like damage output. But yeah, dude, all this thing wants to do is kill everything in you in life. So you can plug this into like some character's parent, or a previous dead character, or maybe like a half orc. Those, it's religion. So like, like whatever, and it comes back as a Bodak, and then like you guys kind of figured out and piece together that this is your previous companion, or something along those lines. It's just coming after you, and you don't know why. I will also have like other things following it, so it's not just the Bodak, obviously. Right. But the Bodak is like the main. It's like that Just like we were saying, like that creepy, like the it follows monster, like it just follows you, and the way like it's hunched over, I imagine like it either moves really slow but creepily, or really fast and jerky.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh yeah. No. I mean, just I don't know. Whichever one would be scarier.
Or maybe both. For some players, it looks like it's moving really slow. For others, it looks like it's moving really fast.
Or like it moves really slow, and all of a sudden it just jumps. Like
yeah. Oh Jesus.
But I think it'd be really neat. Like you uncover like some underground entrance to a temple to some demon lord. You have no idea who this is. And or like, you know, like the players might know, the player characters don't have a clue what this is, blah blah blah. And like you find like some cultists and stuff, but then like, and what is obviously supposed to be like some sort of burial ground, this thing comes up, and you're like, okay, whatever these guys are worshiping, like some cultists that can deal like some level 1 cleric cantrips and spells, that's one thing, but this fucking thing, we're dealing
exactly,
we're dealing with something truly evil, and that kind of nails home like how like, guys, don't worship devils and demons.
Yeah.
You know?
Come on.
Yeah.
We all know this by now.
Yeah, in D&D.
But like one of the like couple throwaway lines that like it shows, like it tells, is that anybody who used to know the creature can recognize mannerisms of movements from that, like from the previous life.
Oh, that would be really fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man, God, can you imagine? Oh,
yeah. It also has aura. It also has aura of annihilation around 30 feet around it.
Oh,
so everything that's around it just dies.
Man, yeah. Like I saw a Bodak, like no, I don't want to go up against one of those.
I think I swear I used it once, but I can't remember where. Because it's definitely not the first time I've seen it. I'm pretty sure it was.
If you have, I don't remember it. So.
It might have been like early Tomb of Annihilations or something. I don't know. Probably. Yeah. But yeah, Bodak, man, like they're not necessarily the most in-depth creatures, but they're terrifying, and it has just enough like backstory for it to be plop into any storyline that you want.
Yeah, like I said, just enough implication to be like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
This is a really bad situation we're in, and maybe these cultists were right about something, but it obviously backfired on them. All right,
yeah.
So my next pick is going to be the Gallows Speaker from Van Richten's. Yeah, from Van Richten's. And what this isn't actually an undead creature, like one singular creature. It is a manifest.
Gallows Speaker?
Yeah, Gallows Speaker. It is a manifestation that is conjured up in an area of like mass death or execution, more specifically, and this creature comes about from like the suffering of like. I mean, from like a gallows, like that's why it's called a Gallows Speaker. So like, so I would imagine this would be really great in a setting that is actually not undead strong. Like you know, like maybe this is one of the few undead. And I was thinking more of like a scenario where the adventurers are trying to go up against like a like sort of dictator king situation, like he's a tyrant, and they're out late at night to like enact some part of their plan, or perhaps they're just, you know, being rebellious, and they come across the village square and there's the gallows, and this thing comes up, and it just kind of gives you an idea, like there has been so much death and suffering in this particular part of town that it has created a physical manifestation that just lays its fury out on anybody that just happens to come across it. And another interesting part of it is that it has an attack that all it does is that if you fail a wisdom save against it, you take psychic damage, because you have to relive the memories of those that have of those that have died by whatever execution or death or what have you that they suffered. So I mean, now,
Jesus.
so like naturally, like a battlefield or something.
Yeah.
Like you would relive like the last terrifying seconds before they got ran over by cavalry, or run through a sword or something. Or maybe you would feel that like looming sense of building dread, like as they made their way up to the hangman's noose or something. So it's just it's not like too bad in a battle. Like I probably wouldn't. It's definitely not BBEG territory.
Right.
But I mean, like I said, you throw that out there, and like in a more normal fantasy setting, and that would definitely leave some of your players like shaken up.
Well, I want to add to that, not a monster that I picked, but it reminded me of one that I just saw, is Sword Wraiths.
Oh, wait, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So they're just glory-obsessed warriors that die in battle without honor. They might hunt the site as Sword Wraiths. So it's just a bunch of like previous warriors that are just haunting a battlefield, or in this gallows in this case.
Yeah.
So while this guy can like fuck with people mentally, like you can have like a Sword Wraith commander as a BBEG, and then some Wraith swords just kind of going around, or this could be a really interesting encounter.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of spooky ghosts.
Oh yeah. I mean, because it could be something like you have like we've talked about like a big war setting kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like maybe you have to like go past an old battlefield to double back to something. But like, these soldiers died a terrible death, and obviously their souls were not laid to rest because they, so there's going to be implications and stuff. And yeah, exactly. And then you see like sword wraiths pop up, and then maybe like for every 5 sword wraith there's a gallows speaker.
Yeah.
It's just...
But so also the cool thing about the sword wraith that I read is that they don't necessarily care about just killing. Like if you like, let's say like they're like ex-comrades and you're here to honor them,
mm-hmm.
they will like that. They're lawful evil.
Yeah.
Right. So like if they're wearing the same symbol as, so like there's a chance that you can even play this as in like, oh, I need backup. This is not ideal, but hey guys, can you help me?
What's it? It's like that scene with Aragorn's it's like I call upon you to fulfill your all right, we took down this one ship, you guys are good.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, that was kind of easy. Okay, on to the after.
Yeah, we should have done this like 3,000 years earlier.
We could have done
like,
this is all we had to do this whole time. Wow.
Yeah, some guy in the back is saying that, like, shh.
But no, I mean that would be a really cool like okay, I know we can get help. You guys aren't gonna like this, but let's just go to this battlefield. like go to whatever like the Faerun equivalent of like Gettysburg is. It's like, all right, I call upon you. I mean, that would be,
yeah, exactly.
That would be really cool. Like that would be like a last ditch. Like we are desperate for help,
Yeah.
And I'm calling upon the souls of these damned soldiers to help me, Oh yeah.
I think that'd be really interesting, honestly.
Yeah, I think it would be too.
All right, Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What happens when a warlock cannot live up to his patrons?
The patron says, "I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed," and then
brings them back as a deathlock.
Oh, I was gonna say, then it dies of psychic damage because I don't think you can't recover from that.
Emotional damage. That's my next monster, the Deathlock.
The Deathlock, a classic.
A classic. Yes. So I mean, this guy is essentially, if you're playing a warlock and you don't do the things that your patron wants you to do because you're like, you know what, I'm a player character and I use my warlock only to get powers, but I'm not gonna do what my patron tells me to do. If you're one of those guys, and then you drop down to 0 hit points out of nowhere, just come back out of death.
Hey, guess what? You were part of a contract, motherfucker.
Now you get to repay. Now you get to repay this, and so obviously, by Deathlock, I mean like all aspects of it: the Deathlock itself, the Mastermind, and the Wight.
Mm-hmm.
Because all 3 of these guys are working together will be a terrifying encounter all together. Because You got spellcasting, you got like spooky like ghost type that you can't hit quite easily. You have regular Deathcloak who are Deathlock that are trying to like do physical damage to you, and then the Mastermind who makes them work in tactics.
Deathclock is a band.
It's a band, yeah.
Deathlock is the monster we're talking about.
Thunder Horse. No, actually, they're Deathlock now. They're Deathlock now.
I mean, they got the.
It's in the monster manual. It's just the artwork from the show.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Armor of Hades. Whittly 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 woo. Anyways,
man, kind of miss that show.
Yeah, I do too. Thanks Adult Swim for pulling that because one guy didn't like it. Anyways,
yeah, of course, classic.
But no, a Deathlock. I think this would be really neat to like. Okay, you wanted to be a warlock. Like pull this on a. Like maybe this was like the like the former warlock of the current patron that the warlock in your party is. Like, hey, this is a look into the future if you don't fulfill. I mean, on one hand, gold, on the other hand, slow and painful death.
Dude, I will use this if any of my player who's a warlock comes to me and is like, hey, I want to change characters. Okay.
All right, yeah, exactly. And how strong was your character? I just need to know because I want to know what stats I can use for the Deathlock. Yeah, I mean,
exactly that.
But I mean, it's just like paladins have their oaths, warlocks have their contracts. They have to follow whatever the patron,
Yeah.
And if not, this is what's going to happen.
Yep, paladin becomes Death Knight. Warlock becomes Deathlock.
Yeah, and maybe if you have a character that's really, if you have a player that's really invested in their character, like, oh wait, no, I don't want my warlock to become a Deathlock. Well then, dude, you have to bring madness to your town because you chose a great old one.
Yep. I feel like, oh dude, that'd be great to like introduce other Deathlock, like a Deathlock white and stuff like that, and make that like the primary like driving force of the adventure. Where like, oh my god, what are these? What is like? It's not a wraith. What is it, right? And then you start revealing really slowly that it's just previous warlocks. Yeah. So it can be like a warlock centric adventure, and like the one warlock in the group's like, fuck. Right, because most players come in like, oh, I'm gonna be a warlock, but I'm not really gonna do anything evil.
Yeah.
Right, but now like you have to, or your character becomes this. And then the rest of the party is like, no, you're not going to. And he's like, yes, I'm going to, because I don't want to be... Like, that's such a friction right there.
Yeah, and like, okay, look, dude, I know you picked Pact of the Fiend because you want the hurl through hell ability when you become like level 12 or whatever, but there's a price to it. Like, it's a fiend. Like, don't be surprised when your patron wants you to do fiendish things. You can't back out of the contract. You signed it.
With blood, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, or some other bodily fluid.
Oh, gross.
Well, I didn't mean it like that, but sure.
Too far, Andrew. Yeah, so that was, I don't know.
I mean, they don't shorten down Great Old One to goo for nothing.
No, we're not going there. I picked Deathlock because there's consequences to being a war.
I'm sorry.
Who would have thought that it will make you into like a walking death thing?
Yeah. Who would have thought that taking a shortcut for magical power had horrible consequences later on in life?
Yeah, exactly.
And actually,
it's literally like the jock who like cheated all through high school versus like the nerd wizard who study. Now in the future, the wizard has like the best paying job and is like, doing all this thing, and the jock is like a burned out.
Yeah, working at like a gas station or something like that. I feel like fighting a Deathlock would be very like not relieving. What's the word? Like very cathartic for a wizard.
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
Whew, see, this is what happens when I die. That's it. I'm dead. I'm just gonna go to sleep forever.
Well, I mean, there's there's things that could happen.
I am lawful neutral. I have no no desire for lichdom. It's just I know when I'm dead, I'm gonna stay dead. But you decided that
oh my god, that'd be great player versus player like role playing.
I don't have time to study.
This is what happens. Like, look where you are.
See, yeah, all you had to do was open a book.
It isn't even that hard. I can do it. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right, Andrew. What's your next monster?
Okay, my next monster is going to be the. I'm going to try to pronounce this. The Dullahun from Van Richten's Dullahun. Dullhoon. No, Dullahan.
Dude, I still can't get over how pretty this fucking book is.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was mixing Dullahan with Alhoon. My bad.
What is it called? Alhoon?
No, the Dullahan.
Dullahan?
Yeah, the Dullahan from Van Richten's, which is, it's essentially the Headless Horseman from the Sleepy Hollow story, but they went more into the, yeah, I know, the Bagman.
Yeah, I forgot about the Bagman.
Which doesn't have any stats and it doesn't need it. Just make it do whatever you want it to.
Yep.
Which that's just Wizard of the Coast just going, go crazy.
Go crazy, kids. You deserve it.
But anyways, but the Dullahan is essentially the Headless Horseman from the Sleepy Hollow tale, but they dug more into like the military background that most people don't usually know about with the Headless Horseman, where it was like, you know, or if you follow the Tim Burton's like Headless Horseman mythology, where it's like, oh, it was the horsemen of some like cavalrymen that, like, you know, got decapitated in battle, blah blah blah. And because of that, I believe it comes pre-packaged with a nightmare steed. If not, it should. And if it ain't, I will give it one. But okay, so this thing, it can hit pretty hard in a fight just by itself. It has ranged attacks, it has melee attacks, it also has legendary actions, like along with like a frightful presence and some other secret attacks that I don't want to give it away. But there is one that I really have to talk about, because I think this is what makes a Dullahan more interesting than just like a normal undead monster, is that if it dies, right? First of all, hold on. It's the only monster I can think of that has a phase 2 to its fight.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, where it has like a Dark Souls style, like, okay, we depleted we depleted the health bar. Why isn't the music stopping? because when you reduce a Dullahan to 0 hit points, it comes back with almost full health. Not quite, but almost full health, and then it brings 3 death head creatures with it, which is a monster that's like the previous stat block over, which is essentially just a floating skull. But there's 3 types of death heads, and it brings 1 of each type with it. So now you have to fight the Dullahan with the death heads, and then it unlocks a whole new set of moves because of it. I mean, it is literally just phase 2. All right, here we go. It's just so fucking like I'm getting myself hyped up just talking about it.
I would in Roll20, I would put like a life bar from Dark Souls. Yeah, like, I would just put it on the map so people can
just fill it back up. No, seriously, it just be like describe it like, oh, the, you know, like after catching that radiant like smite, the Dullahan crumples to the ground and it stops moving. Okay, why aren't we out of turn order yet? I'm not done. And then it just gets back up and, oh, good job. You just pissed it off.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But I mean, if you were to run a XP centric venture instead of milestone leveling, if you kill a Dullahan in its second phase, because I believe the second phase is totally optional, like if you as a DM like, no, I just want to run just normal Dullahan because I'm boring and I don't want to have an
I don't want to have fun.
Yeah, I don't want to have an interesting fight. But if you were to kill a Dullahan in its second phase, it actually doubles the XP that you would get from it normally. So I mean, it could be something where it's like we don't get a level, we get like 2 levels from this thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, but I just love the fact that it already has. Okay, it's already pretty deadly, and the reason why that is because when it hits you with its normal melee attack, you have to make a Constitution saving throw if it crits on you. And the reason why you have to make a Constitution saving throw is because if you fail that Constitution saving throw, you get decapitated.
Oh shit!
No death,
like
save.
Straight up.
Yeah, just okay. So it says if a Dullahan scores a critical hit against a creature, the target must succeed on a blank Constitution saving throw, or the Dullahan cuts the target's head off. The target dies and it can't survive without its lost head. Or the target dies if it can't survive without its lost head. A creature that doesn't need a head or has legendary actions instead takes extra X amount of slashing damage. So I mean, like if you're playing literally any other race besides like a construct or an undead already, and just like he just fucking killed that guy. like all 3 negative death saves. He just killed that dude.
That's intense. You need to run this.
I mean, it's I'm hyping myself up just from reading it. Like it's such a cool concept of a character. I mean, for a fight. Yeah, I'm doing this.
It's this no headless rider. Oh. Rhyme. Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the rhyme of the headless horseman. But I mean, it's just way to take like a normal spooky traditional ghost story and just make it like an actual fucking Dark Souls boss.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
All right, I'm done.
So you got your cool monster. Are you ready for mine? It's the coolest of them all.
Let's hear
a couple of page over from the headless guy. You got the Nechricor.
Oh. All right, here's your evil blood.
Yeah. So I picked it mainly because of that. I was reading, I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's just evil blood.
It's literally just blood.
Yeah. It does have spider climb, so there's that. No, but like it's okay. So okay, yes, it's pretty funny because it's just like legit, just like an angry blob of blood.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes after you. However, though, if your character goes down to 0 hit points, it can attach to you and control you. When it's controlling you, it takes half damage. And obviously, then the rest of the damage goes to whatever it's controlling.
Now
it's already dead.
Now, because that feature, and I think I know which one you're talking about. Is that the blood puppeteering?
Yeah.
Okay, because it is blood, and it talks about like a creature with 0 hit points. I imagine it just like forcing its way in, like, oh!
Is it into you?
It's like in your nose and your eyes, and ears and shit.
And it's just a really angry blob of blood. That's it.
But I think okay. So please help me out here. Is the artwork for it, because I've read a Nechricor and it describes it how like it's in like a magical cage so that nobody can gain access to it. Is the artwork it in its magical cage, and then it's okay? Because I saw, before I read the description, I was reading the stats, and I saw it had like spider climb, and I'm like, how is this tube climbing?
It just rolls. It's a cylinder, just rolls.
Well, I've seen weirder things on this adventure, so I'm not.
No. The cylinder it's in, that's him, like in its container. Okay. But no, like on the usual, it's literally just a pool of blood that's really angrily like squishing towards whoever wants to kill.
And I think that would be really neat to throw this out. It's not a super duper high level monster, but maybe
no, it's not.
No. But like maybe throw this out there and people be like, oh, it's just like a ooze or something like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, our barbarian got down. Hold on, let me go get it. And all of a sudden the ooze is like, it just starts like invading the barbarian and then it props it back up.
Jesus Christ!
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Honestly, that's why I picked it. I just thought it was so funny. It's just very angry blood that just wants a body. That's all it wants.
I mean, if I was living blood, I would be pretty angry too.
You're right, though.
but I like how it says it's usually made of the ichor of evil gods or sludge in the crypts of failed liches. Like, okay. How is this stuff congregating in one spot enough to make a creature like this? Yeah. Like, do failed liches, like, do they like attract other failed liches or something? I have questions, Van Richten.
I do not want to go into that cave, whatever that is.
The Nechricor is a very strong choice, and.
Oh shit! But yeah, that was my next monster.
Okay.
The Nechricor.
So my next and final monster, because I don't want this. I know you don't want this to be like a 3-hour long episode. Otherwise,
hey, last episode we went into 2 hours.
Otherwise, it would be like 4 hours in. All right, so this is why I think the zombie beholder is better than the normal zombie.
So a ghoul versus a zombie.
So skeletons. Let's get. It's a fucking skeleton. Like you see them in every fantasy game. Anyways,
yeah.
So it's funny that you picked Nechricor because my final monster is literally on the next page. the Nosferatu. And what I think.
By the way, if I ever play Nosferatu, I'm just playing Nosferatu from SpongeBob.
That's why. Stop turning on and off the lights. Do you know how much my electricity bill was this month? You asshole. But no.
It's just the worst roommate you can have.
But what I really like about Nosferatu is that it describes it as a vampire that has lost all of its dignity and charisma, and it has just become this like debased devourer of anything living. So it's like Lestat at the end of Interview with a Vampire, where it's literally just feeding on rats. Like, I got to do whatever it takes just to survive. And it doesn't really say exactly how a Nosferatu comes into being. Like, it doesn't say like, oh, this is what happens when blah 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 and you become a Nosferatu. I believe in my heart what I want to do is that I will have a Nosferatu be like, okay, this is what happens when a vampire is either thousands of years old or it can't sustain itself on human blood any longer. It just devolves into this baseless creature that will eat pigs and horses and stuff just because it needs blood that badly. Like if Cursus Strahd loses real estate and becomes a bum, he's gonna become a Nosferatu after a while. And they are completely bereft of any intelligence that they had before. Like, it has a negative intelligence score, but all of its physical scores are like in the pluses, which tells you, like I said, it's just a mindless killing machine. But I'm just making up for time because I want to talk about the coolest thing that it's got, which is the blood disgorge ability. Which, have you read this?
No, I haven't. I just saw it when I was reading. I didn't read it though.
Okay. So it's a recharge ability, which means it recharges on 5 or 6, and it in a 15-foot cone, the Nosferatu will vomit blood. It just and anybody that manages to get hit in that has to make a Constitution saving throw of whatever kind of points, and on a failed save, you take necrotic damage, and you cannot heal for the next 1 minute, which in a fight is forever. That's 10 rounds of not being able to heal.
Ooh.
So I mean like a Nosferatu in of itself is actually kind of tough. It's actually a little bit tougher. Oh, excuse me. It's actually a little bit tougher than Nechricor. that you described. So just throwing that into the mix, and then
A little bit. I think it's a lot more.
no. I mean, it's got a little.
Oh, stat wise. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you meant like ability wise.
Well, I mean, actually, I think ability wise.
What if it throws up a Nechricor?
Oh man, it just and then the blood starts like going into you. Oh man, holy shit!
That's terrible.
Jose, after we're done recording, we need to discuss some ideas.
It's okay, bro. I've been writing it down.
But I mean, so I mean, just having the ability to negate healing in combat, that can mean everything. Because because
10 rounds are 10 rounds, dude.
But also, not only that, it doesn't say if a creature hits 0 hit points, it loses this debuff. So if somebody goes down because of a Nosferatu, healing is the number one way to bring someone back. Just okay, all I need is 1 health point, and then they're fine. But if you negate that healing, well then shit. Now it actually does come down to either I have to make a medicine check, or they just have to stabilize themselves. So that just kind of adds an extra layer to that. So I mean, just throw this against like a mid to low level party, and then just watch as the chaos ensues.
Oh man, that's gross.
Yeah, ain't it?
I like to imagine it's like when what's the name of the kid from the movie that becomes a vampire in What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah.
When he eats the fry. And
Yeah.
It's just that.
or like that scene in the Hateful Eight when Kurt Russell's character has the poison coffee and he's literally just vomiting like all over the table. It's like going all over people and shit.
Oh my god.
And then
gross.
And then the blood starts moving.
Wait, what did you just say? Don't worry about it.
It's in my nose. It's in my eyes.
All right, Andrew. I have my last monster. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Hit me.
What is worse than a giant?
An undead
A
giant?
Nightwalker.
Oh fuck! I actually was thinking about it, but I thought a Nightwalker was too mean.
Dude, this is what I wrote down on my notes. Mean motherfucker, cool art.
when I think a Nightwalker is too mean, a Nightwalker is too fucking
It's mean. Because I've seen it. We kind of spoke about it in one of our episodes before, like, very briefly. But like, I started reading this.
No, I remember we talked about it because one of our listeners was like, "Yeah, I threw this at a level 5 party." I'm like,
oh, yeah.
why would you do that?
That's what it was. Yeah, dude. All right. So first of all, hit points out the ass. Armor class, fine, right? Still plenty of chances to miss. But every single DC that you need to make to not die, it's very fucking high.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of ways. Like just being within a 30-foot radius, right?
Well, I mean,
30 feet radius around it, you start taking necrotic damage unless you pass your DC.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say a DC number, but it's pretty high.
I mean, just being around this thing is terrible. And not only that, but it has a lot of damage resistances. It has some damage immunities. It has pretty much every condition immunity you can think of, so don't even bother.
If a character dies within that radius, it can't be revived.
Does it become something? Like, does it become like a...
Nope, it just can't be revived. That's it, it's gone. The only way to do it is by a wish spell.
Man! Like when a Nightwalker shows up, all you see is objective: survive.
Survive. And like the stat block is, for what it is, the stat block isn't even that big. But everything it does, it's just mean. Well, it's just mean. I kind of don't want to go on the other stuff, but like, it's mean.
I mean, I just want to point out, no pun intended. I just want to point out the Finger of Doom ability. I'm not going to say the number, but it has stupid range. I'm the wizard and I got that one invocation that gives me range. Guess what, buddy? This thing can meet you with it. And then I'm like,
I want to see the cocky monk who's like, don't worry about it, I'm out. Like,
yeah, okay, buddy.
I don't care how fast you are, monk. You ain't getting away from this one.
like you have to have your whole build around getting away from this guy. Like you need to be speed. Yeah. I actually don't want to talk about a Nightwalker because I want one in an adventure.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing, because I was reading this and I'm like, it is a cool monster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I would put it.
At the very end of something. But
even at a level 11 and stuff, like that's still damn.
Like this can be, I would imagine this can be something. Like if you were to have like a sort of higher level Shadowfell campaign, this is it. Like this is the monster, you know?
Yeah.
The only problem is that I can't see it being. I can see it being more of like the monster that is in control of a more intelligent villain instead of being the guy that's behind
the actual.
Yeah, only because its stats, for like the mental stats for it, aren't that great. The physical stats are phenomenal, but the mental stats, not so much.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, but that's my last monster. I don't want to dive too in depth to it, but if that ever shows up in a campaign I'm playing, I'm gonna be like,
I just realized.
Nope, I know what that is. I'm out.
I also just realized it has a flying speed.
It does? Fuck.
There's no wings on it, but it has a flying speed because it's just like stats. Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's its speed? Rapidly approaching.
Yes. Oh man. Woo. You say that you don't have any more monsters, right?
No, that was it. That's all I had.
Yeah, so we finally did it. We touched upon some of the most interesting / looked glossed over monsters out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ones we spoke about are pretty common, but like a lot of them were just stuff that like I kind of like went through the book and saw the artwork and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and then moved on to the vampire, to the zombie, like skeleton. Plenty of awesome stuff. I love the reaction to the Nechricor. Because it's so dumb. I love it. Nechricor, Bodak, Alip. There was plenty of here. I hope you guys enjoyed our rambles and our crazy ideas.
Evil blood.
Really angry blood. But Andrew, let's move on to our next segment.
Session highlights.
I'm trying to remember what we did last. We only had one session because Hurricane
Ian
literally came the day that we released our last podcast episode.
It was.
So we had to cancel the game.
Yeah, we had to cancel the game, and because some of us ended up losing power. I think some of us had to like evacuate, didn't we?
Yeah, Heather and Alex had to evacuate.
Yeah. So yeah.
Luckily, their house was fine when they came back, but yeah, they had to evacuate.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that happened. But the previous, or the next week, which was now the previous week, we did have a session.
Yep.
But what would your highlight be? Because I think I have one, but I want to see because I think we have the same thing.
Well, I'm trying to remember what we did. I can't.
Okay, so
refresh me. What was the session? Sorry, a lot of things happened between there.
Okay, so the party had encountered some orcs that were clearly under some kind of spell.
Oh, that's right.
And most of the session was that combat encounter.
Mm-hmm.
But then afterwards, there was a little bit of travel and then you guys came across the you guys went to Dugan's Hole. Which I think that might be my session highlight. Because okay, you know what that is gonna be. Okay, hold on. So one of them was like I I didn't do a very good job, I'll admit it. But I tried to have some sort of like, hey, like, don't kill these orcs kind of a situation during the combat encounter. And I wanted to start with like, okay, whenever it's Octavio's turn, I'm just gonna have like the like voices in his head of like Chief Rendar and stuff, like being, oh wait, no, don't do that. Like, you know, these guys are bewitched and enchanted and stuff. And Octavio's like, all right, I'm gonna cast Shatter on these orcs.
No, hold on. No.
I know. What I wanted happened, what did happen was two totally different things. Because like I said, I didn't do a very good job of conveying that, and I apologize. So what happened was that you're like, I'm gonna cast Shatter on these orcs, and you're like, okay, you're gonna do that. And while that happened, Chief Rendar and Anaquana go, wait a minute, but it's like it's too late. The spell's already out, and these orcs just like blow apart. I mean, and it was honestly a pretty like dynamic combat. Like Mitten's gotten some really good fucking hits on this one guy, like charging across the river, like a crossbow bolt just takes him out and stuff. But I like I said, I want to try to convey this whole like, oh wait, no, we have to take him out like peacefully or at least non-lethally, and like I didn't do a very good job of getting that memo out till about probably like halfway through the battle. So like most of these guys,
when half the orcs were dead.
You know what? You guys are good. but just like that opening, like, like oh yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. What was your second highlight?
When you guys got the Dugan's Hole.
I love the whole time you're describing how like fucked up these people look, and I'm just posting images. that was my highlight. Just posting images of Flapjack, Misadventures of Flapjack, like the really ugly people from the town. Just posting that everywhere, like a grandma and like the person.
Well, I mean, it's like throughout almost this entire venture, every time someone mentions Dugan's Hole, I'll go, it's a shithole, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, ha, ha. And then you guys get there, and surprise, surprise, it's a shithole.
Yeah.
like I'm not even. I wasn't even kidding. This place is terrible. They're xenophobic, and there's like some weird implications going on there.
Yeah. They're all gross looking. It's like, Octavia first like, oh, can we get like a tavern or whatever? And then as we were going through the town, Octavia slowly went from like, I need to go to sleep, to like, you know what? I'm not that tired anymore.
I like how you were the only character that actually went through town. Everyone else went around it. You actually went
by accident, but yes.
Well, I don't want to think that was an accident. I think that was actually happening.
Yeah, no, that
like,
everybody's veered off and Octavius is following the main road.
And by the time you realize it, you're already too far in, and you're like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just see this through. It can't be that bad.
It's too awkward to backtrack.
Exactly.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, the only town you guys like actively ignored, like, nah, we're not. Nah.
We should have just put the dragon horde in here.
Oh shit. So yeah, that was my highlight. Just you guys getting to Dugan's Hole and realizing, oh, he wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Whew. Wow. All right. Anything else, Andrew?
No, I think that's it. I think we're good.
Sweet. Well, I want to thank everybody who joined us for this episode. I hope you guys had a good time and learned a little bit about spooky monsters that are not the usual ones that you find in books.
And just keep in mind, this was only a few gems out of the mountain of undead creatures that are in 5e.
There's definitely a lot. Like the list I found, like my filtering was, oh, that sounds cool. Let's go. But there's a lot. There's a lot of freaking monsters out there. But yeah, make sure to follow us and like us on whatever podcast platform you use. We are on all of them, I think, most of them. But also, make sure to follow us on Twitch and Facebook, because that's where we stream our weekly live sessions for Rime of the Frost Maid and DM by Andrew. And we're having a blast after 47 sessions. So please, make sure to follow us so you can join us live. We can talk crap about Andrew's DMing, or just any character in particular. But yeah, with that, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed our podcast. Leave us a review. I ask always to leave a review. You guys who are listening, and I mean Heather and Robert, leave us a review. I'm gonna force you guys to leave us a review.
I know you're listening. Howard, you too sometimes.
Oh shit. Alright, well with that, I'll leave you guys. Have a good rest of your week, and as always, keep on gaming. Bye.
Bye.